Hello everyone, RetroCon here. Affogato. Is it Spanish? French? Latin? No, it's worse than that. It's Italian. Affogato in the real world is the combination of a piping hot espresso with a scoop of cool and creamy ice cream. Only the birthplace of Michelangelo Buonarroti, Leonardo da Vinci, and Galileo Galilei could invent such a concoction. The game's namesake, on the other hand, is about forming conga lines and directing beings to slaughter insidious demons. But how evil can demons that look like this really be? Do they open doors in the night? Or maybe hide your house keys in the basement? Don't fall for their appearance. The halo effect is real, and they know it. These are demons that infiltrate the mind. They'll convince someone that they are a fish. Said person will then attempt to live underwater and roleplay as a fish. They will do this for about 2 minutes before they inevitably resurface due to a lack of oxygen. The demons might place a victim into a coma and force them to repeatedly relive nightmares in which they try to fly like a bird. Except they won't fly, and they'll fall back down to earth very quickly, over and over again. These demons can also manifest themselves in video games. Anyone who plays will become severely addicted, so much so that they will be unable to stop. They'll lose their jobs and be forced to sell their belongings for those sweet microtransaction points. Eventually, they'll be living in the streets, selling their services just to make enough money to enter an internet cafe. Their bodies will atrophy and eventually fail from a lack of sleep, nutrients, and movement. There is something to be said that we live in a reality where there are more ways to suffer than to be content. But we're not here to discuss niche or become cynics, or are we? No, there are other videos for that. We're here to have fun. These demons are truly the worst, but hey, look at them, they're adorable. There is something worse than these demons, however. Even in an alternate reality with witches, magic, and delicious coffee, there is no escape from the enigmatic landlord. 3 things are all but certain in life: death, taxes, and rent. Sell coffee, fight demons, hustle on the streets to earn the money necessary to avoid eviction and homelessness. At least you have a roommate named Mephisto. Except your roommate doesn't pay rent. In fact, she mostly does nothing. Why? Because she's a subjugated demon you use as a medium. This proves that demons have it better than humans. She also has a knack for being childishly nefarious. Affagato is a great game. The Japanese are masters at 3 things. First, they know how to inject some of the most abhorrent school bullying scenarios into all of their media. Second, they are world leaders on exotic and niche fetishes. Thirdly, and probably the most important, they are really good at drawing. Therefore, as long as you can make it past the Unity logo, you'll enjoy a cake with beautiful frosting and a really somber tasting interior. The Japanese are also really good at voice acting. They've got entire schools dedicated to sounding like a child. It is a high demand industry. Outside of voice acting, Affagato also has some banger music of the highest quality. If you enjoy some modern funk, you'll probably enjoy the soundtrack. It's there to contrast the melancholic story about desperate people signing away their souls to demons. When playing Affagato, you'll be assuming 2 hats. The first is that of a wagey coffee shop owner living paycheck to paycheck. Your second hat will be that of a pro bono demon hunter. Your income streams consist of direct sales of gourmet coffee or gifts, because in this world, only the greedy and selfish make it out ahead. Your landlord is a doctor, and he will demand 10,000 units of currency every 15 days. Unfortunately, the Federal Fair Housing Act does not exist in this universe. You have no rights as a tenant. If you're late to pay even a single installment, he will mercilessly evict you regardless of your payment history or your good standing. It's established canon that witches lay claim to territories not too dissimilar in method as how mobsters do. One might ask the question then, if demons are the equivalent of drugs. I'm not sure. but what I do know is that you've trespassed on territory that isn't yours. This is actually critical to the plot as it drives the entire narrative. You are essentially forced to perform hit jobs for your new boss or wind up banished from the city, or worse. When you're not busy begging on the streets or performing hit jobs for your boss, then you're going to be exploring the city. The city is filled with rogue demons to harvest for special currency. There are important denizens with unique storylines you can pursue. Go to one of the many establishments to purchase goods or to enhance your characteristics, such as your beauty, intelligence, and courage. These stats and shops are important to progress through storylines, because in this post-capitalist society, friendship is bought and vanity is rewarded. Fighting demons is an experience, and one you'll be doing quite often. You do this by entering the mind of the possessed individual and then beating said demon. Use summoning cards to summon champions who will navigate the labyrinth. Cards are acquired through a variety of means. Progress the main storyline, purchase them from Mephisto, or attain them from side stories. Gameplay is relatively straightforward. Cards fall under 4 categories: offensive, defensive, vanguard, and support. Offensive cards are your tops. They're damage dealers. Defensive cards are bottoms and soak up damage. Vanguard cards are a bit of both and serve the front lines. Lastly, support cards, they are your power bottoms and have various utilities, such as healing damage. Cards cost Penta to play. To acquire Penta, you'll need to eliminate specific enemies, collect cards, or use specialized units. I'll be honest, it's a bit annoying as there aren't too many options here. Collecting Penta from enemies or cards can be rather hit or miss. You'll be relying on the Hermit and the Hierophant for most of your Penta. Units can only be placed in front or behind of your other units. You'll almost always end up with a train of characters. This is good since it allows us to practice the military doctrine of force concentration. We destroy our enemies with overwhelming firepower. Control the Armageddon train at junctions by clicking on the tiles and setting the direction. Ultimately, you want to defeat the stage boss or reach some destination in order to complete the stage. Enemies will become tougher as you progress, and stages will become nuanced and acquire features. This can be overcome by spending points to upgrade your cards. Alternatively, if you are a masochist, you can fine-tune your approach to defeat the stages. As you continue to slay demons and survive the hustle, you'll unravel the story of the game. This boss, giving you tasks, goes by the name Sarah, and what she really wants is 3 specific demon shards. Along your quest to collect these shards, you'll encounter demons that enthrall their victims to commit suicide or perform insane psychological torture. Collect the shards and turn them in to Sarah. Their purpose will become clear. Look, it's not a complicated story. This game doesn't take long to beat. You'll have the side stories which vary in flavor and objective, but they also don't last long. Affagato is a short and simple game. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not that difficult and you'll be stuck with a particular strategy most of the time. The premise is entertaining enough and it's not overtly long. At the end of the day, it depends on whether you're a connoisseur of the Japanese variety. If the art style dazzles you, if you enjoy a decent story, and if you like the music, then this is the game for you. I won't lie to you though, it's a bit on the expensive side relative to playtime. Keep that in mind. You might get around 25 or so hours of gameplay, and that's if you're not being special like me. I'll tell you this though, I bought some coffee accessories thanks to this game and awakened my caffeine addiction. If I had to give this game a score, it would be a steaming Americano over a warm cafe latte. That's all I got for today. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos. Anyways, thanks for watching and have a beautiful day.